YouTube, what's happening? It is Tuesday, May 6th. We're going to talk about the MLB first. We have 16 games on the slate today. You can see before you, we have a doubleheader in Washington because of the weather yesterday, I believe. So we're going to have an extra game there. We're going to look at the stats. We're going to look at the props. We're going to see if we can find some more value because let's do a little recap of yesterday like we always do. And yesterday was a pretty good day. Sandy hit. LL didn't play. That game is obviously the doubleheader for today. The game got postponed. Roop hit over the 4.5 hits allowed. St. Louis money line, and even the Mets won. Hey, it was a great day overall. That's a 4-0 day. We didn't lose. That's a sweep. We'll take that each and every day possible. So if you want the plays typed out or you want access to the spreadsheet, so you know these bad boys, so you can do your own research without me, all you got to do is go check out the HQ that rolls up here a bunch. So enough of that. 4-0 is great, but you know what's better? More than that. So we're not done. So we have 16 games. We're going to focus on those and see if we can find some value right now. Okay, like we've been doing for the past week, now we're going to look at the weather first, see what games have potential rain issues, rain outs, what have you. So we're going to look through all these real quick. Miami is in a dome, obviously. Boston has some mad issues when it comes to weather today. They might not even play this game. Be shocked if they do. If not, it's going to be a massive delay, you can tell. Washington, game one's not on here because it starts, you can start at 6:40. But apparently, up here, you can see the weather guy says clean 9, not an issue. So the second one, also not much rain, no issues. Wind blowing out of 5. Tampa, wind blowing out of 5, 17, 86 degrees. Good stuff. New York, potential rain. Wind blowing into 8. Atlanta, nothing with 5. Cubs in 5, nothing. KC, nothing. Twins, nothing. Brewers in a dome. St. Louis, nothing. Colorado, 100%, 99. They ain't playing this game. No shot they're playing this game. Look at that precipitation. Not a chance. So I'll show you stuff just in case, but they're going to postpone this bad boy. Los Angeles, nothing. Arizona's on a dome. The A's are good as well. So there's your weather. And now we could pop over to the first game, which I'm going to go into the doubleheader first. If you're new here, or if you were here yesterday, or whatever, I don't like doing doubleheaders personally. The reason I don't do them is because too many weird things happen. Colorado has 5 wins on the season. 2 of those wins came on doubleheader days because typically the teams will just kind of agree to split the doubleheader, or they don't try as hard in one game, and then you got bullpen could choose to one game, but then they don't in another game, and it's just too much shenanigans can happen. Too many variables that we don't know what's going to happen, so I leave those games completely alone. Like yesterday, I took LL Ortiz. He's going to pitch today, but I'm not taking him today because it's a doubleheader, so we're not doing it. So, but I will show you the numbers and everything in case you want to take it. You know, I got you. Don't worry. So let me go with lines. First one, you can see both lines are here. They're playing the first game at like 3 something this afternoon Eastern, so you can see the lines there for both games. I will show the spreadsheet now so you can see it. Here is the sheet for both. Well, it's the same sheet because it's the same day. The sheet updates around, I think I set it for 2 a.m. is when it updates. So there's your numbers for there. You can see how everything's been going. Let me pop over. Do I even have props for this game? That's a question. I don't know if I do. I do not have pitcher props, I don't think, outside of... Well, I might. Hold up. I might have some. Hold on. I can show you. Yeah, so we got LL versus Jake Irvin. That was the original thing. Now, if I go to the other ones, what happens? Ben Lively and Brad Lord. So those are your pitchers. I'm not going to go deep into it because it's a pass for me, but that's what I do. I don't do doubleheaders. Just my personal preference. You can if you want to, but hey, whatever. I'm not. Pass. Next game. Oh, good God. All right, we're on to LA and Miami, and I just saw the pitching matchup and who's facing who, and I'm just like, well, let me get a napkin so I can start drooling a little bit over this one. This is going to be nice if it goes well. We have LA and Miami. We have the Dodgers 270 with a 9.5 total. Yep, good stuff. Let's look at the spreadsheet. We see a whole lot of ones because LA's bats are on fire right now. 7.3 runs, batting 316 as a team in 10 games is impressive. OPS over 1, hits at 11.4, home runs 1. Yeah, you see how they're doing. They're doing great, right? Miami, I don't even care about Miami in this one. I care about the pitching matchup. Guess who the Dodgers get to face today? That's right, Cal Quantrill. Over 2.5 earned runs, 80%, 80%, 75%, 100%. Yeah, over hits allowed. Now that's the question. Do we take hits? I'm taking one of these two plays, 100%. Am I taking hits or earned runs is the main question though. So, and then we got Tony Gonsolin down here. Man, I haven't heard that name in a minute. So let's see. Yeah, I'm not taking the money line. 270 is crazy, but I am going to fade Cal Quantrill heavily. So let's see. Earned runs for him, he has done 2025. He's averaging 4 when he goes out there. 6-0 against Atlanta. 3, 7, 4, and 4. Now, he did face the Dodgers in his last game, so he gave up 4. How many hits did he give up? Let's look. He gave up 2025. He gave up 6. 6.3. 8, 4, 7, 8, 5, 6. So he's going to give up hits. They're going to leave him in. He's not, So my hope is that he doesn't give up a bunch of home runs. He gives up a lot of singles and doubles and things like that. That's okay, because I think I'd rather take the hits than the earned runs. But then, even if he gets a bases loaded, they pull him out and they put the bullpen in. He's still responsible, and that bullpen ain't that good. We know how good Miami's pitching is. It's not. So, let's look a little deeper, shall we? There's the Dodgers' history versus Cal. 400, 571, 250, 278, 400, 364, 375, 529, and 17 at bats for Freddie. All right, Freddie, just abusing this man. Against righties, you see how the Dodgers have been doing. Against righties, you can see how Miami's been doing. Against Tony, you can see how they've done. Don't care about that side. Don't care at all. I am going to fade Cal. And I think we got to take earned runs. Even though hits does. You know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to take both plays. How about I'm going to double fade? Now, if Cal comes out and pitches a Cy Young worthy gem, hey, I'll eat the 0-2 loss. But I'm taking Cal. Let's see. Quantrill over 2.5 earned runs. And then let me make another line on my spreadsheet here so I can add it. And we're going to go Quantrill hits as well. Quantrill over 4.5 hits left. 4.5. That's it. Sure. That feels low. I feel like that should be 5. But hey, whatever. I'm taking both of them. Don't care. Next. Okay, here we have one of our weather games I was talking about. So let me pop back up to show you Boston's weather again in case you weren't paying attention. It's the top one, isn't it? Yeah, Boston. Create 80 or higher percent chance. It goes down to 60 or 70. They might play this game. They may not. Who knows? Second worst weather day of all the games today. The worst one is the one in, where is it, Colorado? That's the worst one. Yeah, Colorado's 100%. Ain't no chance. Ain't no way. So let's go to the lines and look. Boston, Texas. Texas is slightly favored with a 9 total. Let me look at the spreadsheet, show you the numbers. Boston's bats have been doing pretty good in the last 10. Doing great. Top 10 numbers of what you want to see. Texas, that's why they're 3-7. They're kind of mid. They're actually coming back up from being in the red. So, yeah, when the bats are great and the record's bad, you can tell the pitching has not been there. It's simple as that. So you can see which side the ball is doing better. So bats are doing good. Pitching is struggling on both sides. You're just 3-7. You're just not good overall. Ooh. Let's look at the pitchers, shall we? We want Boston. Yes. We click OK. And we got Eovaldi versus Lucas Giolito. Okay. We have nothing here we want to look at. Neither team is striking out a bunch. So they're both in the yellow. We don't want to take that. So nothing here so far, which is good. I don't want to take this one because of the weather, but hey, if it doesn't have anything for us, I'm cool with that too. So let's see. We got 320 bats for Marcus, 300 for Corey. You can see the numbers there against righties. This is how Texas has been this season. Take a look at that. Boston versus righties. There's your numbers right there. Obviously, we know these by now. Eovaldi versus Boston. Abreu is 4 bats with 2 home runs. That's crazy. Yeah. Yeah, and that's okay. Good stuff. All right, so, and then let me show you the bats too, just in case you want to look at the bats in this one. And there's not much here, obviously, with 2 teams struggling like that. We got Gonzalez barely, and then Jonah. Yeah, I don't like this game. Weather's a massive issue in this one. I'm just going to pass. Next. All right, moving on. Philadelphia and Tampa. And we can currently see it as a pick'em with an 8 total. Let's look and see the sheet. Who's doing well? Tampa's not doing well. They forgot how to play offense, clearly. 30th in slugging is not where you want to be. Philly is flirting with top 10 average on a bunch of these. Some of these are green. They're all is hovering around 10. So 20th in strikeouts. So if Philly has a strikeout pitcher, that's definitely something we can look at. I wouldn't look at a Nerfy here. There hasn't been any Nerfies in the past couple days that have been good, like solid Nerfies. Even though I know some people taking them and they've hit, I haven't seen one I'm like, ooh, I want to take a Nerfy. You know, they stand out pretty easily. So let's go look at the pitchers. Who do we have? We need to swap over to Tampa. We want the Rays and the Phillies, and we have, wait, that's the bats. Oops. Let me look at that again. Put on the right game. That might help us. Zach Wheeler, strikeouts versus Tampa. I just said that. Well, there you go. And then strikeouts, yes. Over earned runs, 100%. So he gets to strikeouts, but he gives up a couple runs, which, hey, if we're going strikeouts, I don't care how many damn runs you give up. Hits allowed, too. So he gets a little tagged. And then Drew Rasmussen's going out there who, So let's look closer at Wheeler. Wheeler strikeouts. He's averaging 8.5 his last 10. He's averaging 8.14 this season. He's hit over 6.5 every game but one on St. Louis, and we know St. Louis is bottom. They're top 5 in strikeouts. You don't want to take strikeouts against St. Louis. They're pretty good. So he struck out 7 against Washington. Impressive. Mets, Miami, Atlanta, Colorado. Yeah, he's been pretty good. So let's see how his history's been versus. This is Rasmussen versus Philly. There's your numbers. Nothing stands out against righties. There's your Philly numbers. Let's go to Tampa. Tampa versus righties. There's a couple 300 dudes, and that's about it. Aranda, Morales 300 now. And Misner is there. Oh, we got 4 dudes. Wow. Wheeler. Wheel 'em and deal 'em. There's your numbers. History, nothing really stands out. A couple home runs. Like, he's going to give up hits, but he's going to strike you out too. So I'm not taking hits, obviously, because we know how bad Tampa's offense is. Remember, the offense is absolute doo-doo. They're just ass. That's what they are. So, no. And we're going to focus mainly down here in this spot. 9.6 strikeouts per game in the last 10. That ain't good. When you've been really good this season, that's your season number. That's your home number. That's last 10. We got to do better. So, until then, you're going to face a guy who can strike you out. So I'm taking Zach Wheeler over 6.5 strikeouts next. All right, next up we got San Diego and New York. And remember the weather. Don't forget potential rain. Not as bad as Boston or Colorado, but still probably the 3rd worst game for rain. So that could be a delay here. So careful if you're taking pitcher props in this one. So we go back over to the lines, take out look-see, and we can see it is a pick 'em with an 8 total. Cool spreadsheet. What we got? Yankees bats doing well. San Diego struggling. They're not doing well at all. So yeah, already you can see that they're on a 6-game winning streak. That's how good their pitching has been. Their bats they're only getting 3.4 runs in the last 10 games on average. Their pitching is so good recently that they're actually staying in the games and winning. Literally 6 straight wins. That's crazy. 4-6 for the Yankees. They've lost 3 now. Damn. Yeah, I'm Yankees. So that means their pitching, which we know Yankees bullpen is not good. If you were here last season, you know how much we talked about the Yankees bullpen being so bad. And we faded bullpens, almost every bullpen outside of like Cleveland and Detroit last year. Made so much money off it. It was beautiful. So let's go to props. Who's pitching today? Clark Schmidt, walks allowed, 100%. Love seeing that. Great stuff right there. Against Michael King, who has a bunch of nothing. So Schmidt, 100%. San Diego, what's your walks looking like? 22nd. What are you doing? All right, so we're not taking that. Shame. For shame. Let's look at the matchup, see if anything stands out. We got any like specific bats? People have been popping off a little bit. Little matchups. Clark Schmidt's actually been not bad. Not bad against San Diego. Against righties, you can see how San Diego's been doing this season. A couple threes. We got 3 threes. That's it. Because you can see how bad they've been doing. Yankees against righties. Oh no, Judge is below 400. Oh no. 308, 306, 303. Oh man, against Michael King historically, nothing. So I don't know. Damn, that's a lot of walks. That's a lot of walk. Where is your control this year? 2, 3, 4. Man, head to head. Yeah, you faced him last year and gave up 3 walks too. I don't know. I don't know. Let's go look at bats. Anybody standing out bat wise? Let's take it. 'Cause so far, nothing's really jumping out at us. There's some numbers if you want to stick the bats, but Judge's 2.5 HR plus 105. Not bad. So I'm going to pass on that. I don't like anything in this game. Let's move on to the next one. All right, moving on. Cincinnati and Atlanta. And we can see currently Atlanta's 210 with an 8 total. Ooh. All right, we have that. So let's look over at the spreadsheet and see what we got. Kind of average. Atlanta's clearly doing a little bit better because they have some green. Cincy is in the middle spots. So nothing's really standing out so far. Both teams are doing great at strikeouts. As long as you don't see red, you're good there. This is not a Nerfy board. This ain't a Yurfy board. No runs first inning. Yes, runs first inning for those that don't know what Nerfy means. I got you. So nothing stands out so far. Let's see what the pitchers look like. Anything good. Pitchers. Who do we have in this one? With the Braves. And we got... Oh, it's a Chris Sale day. Chris Sale, has not been himself from last season. Like, look at that. Over hits allowed every game this season. He's basically done it. So let me look a little deeper. Then Andrew Abbott, nobody cares about him. So I'm sorry. Look at that. Look at that. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Yeah. So he's averaging 5.86 hits per game. Going up against Cincy, who is averaging hits. How many strikeouts is he getting? Yeah, he's 10, but that was Colorado. I mean, come on. You could strike out probably 4 or 5 against Colorado. It's Colorado. Come on. 4 for Arizona, 8 and 7, Minnesota, Tampa. Let's look at the history. See if anybody stands out. Sail. And let's see. Nothing stands out historically. Percentage since he versus lefties is not good. We have a 387 and a 383, and that is it. Everything else is 200, and not even the good 200s either. Okay, yeah, we're not taking hits over Chris Sale because since he can't hit lefties, that ain't good. Lefties for Atlanta. How are you two? Atlanta even got a 300 hitter against lefties. Nope, I'm sorry, I lied. They have one. They have Riley. Okay, against Abbott, 1 for 3, nothing. Okay, so this is one of them trap games. The people are going to see this and say, "Oh, it's Chris Sale versus Cincinnati. I'm going to take Chris Sale. Atlanta's going to whoop ass. They're 210 favorites, right?" People are going to put Atlanta in their money line parlay. You know they are, and this is a game Atlanta could easily lose because this is too close to even. Everything's lining up evenly. There's nothing standing out either way saying take this one way or another. Smart thing is to leave this damn game alone. Smart thing. So, yeah, I'm going to leave. There's your bats. I'm passing this one next. All right, next up we got San Fran and Chicago. Currently we have Cubs as a 150 favorite with that 8 total. Spreadsheet, we can see San Fran's offense. The bats are not doing well. Chicago's flirting with around top 10 spots, so that's why they're 6-4. You can see the numbers. This isn't a nerfy board. This isn't a Yerfy board. This is a lean Chicago bat so far. Let's pop over to the props pictures. We got Verlander versus Colin Ray. The only thing that stands out is his outs. I'm not feeling outs lately because I got to see like more of a trend to how these pitchers be doing. So in Verlander going up against the Cubs, who are potentially a top 10 offense, is not something I want to do. If they tee off on him, he could get pulled early. We don't want to do that. So we're going to probably pass on that one. Let's look at the history. Verlander versus Cubs history. Nothing. That's all they have bats. I would assume he would have more bats than that since 2018, but hey, whatever. Against righties, you can see how they have done. Only one guy's over 300 anymore, and it's just Kelly. Sad. San Fran, they have 2 guys over 300. And against Colin Ray, there is no data. Oh, except Yastrzemski down here. 2 home runs and 5 at bats with a 600 average and a 2.5 OPS. 2 swings, that's pretty good. 5 RBIs. I would like a little more data with a little more hits in there, but hey, whatever. That could be a play. Yastrzemski, are you on the thing? Are you even playing? These are the things I needed. There was a lot of injuries yesterday I saw on like the injury list pop up. Like people are going to be out for a minute. Like it was concerning. It was so many. Like wow. All right. Giants, how far down? Right there. Giants, are you on here, good sir? You are. You're right there. Hey, let's see what Yastrzemski's been up to. I might take this. Just to get a hit, he's averaging 1.2 hits. He's got a hit in 7 out of 10 games. I could work with that. 180 is kind of pricey. HRR is minus 115. This would be more of a risk, I would say, going up against Colin Ray, but he does have good history, though. So I do like that somewhat. Yeah. I wish he had more than 2. He's 3 for 5 with 2 home runs. Yeah, that's good and all, but last 2 games he ain't done nothing. So I would lean this way, but I'm gonna pass on him, end this game, and move on to the next one. All right, next we got Baltimore, Minnesota. Currently seeing it is Minnesota 155 at 8.5 total. Let's look over at the spreadsheet and see the numbers. Baltimore not doing good offensively, not good at all, almost red in every category. Minnesota is actually top 10 in a bunch of categories. Who'd have thunk it? Wow. Okay. So Minnesota, 1, they're at home. They get that advantage. 2, they have the advantage of being better, way better offensively. Next, when you go look at pitchers and see who is throwing the ball out there, Pablo Lopez versus Cade Povich. Nothing is standing out here on an over potential or even maybe an under potential. If you want to go down here, Pablo's been crushing it down here. He hasn't got over 200 runs in 5 straight games. Look at Pablo Lopez. We might just have to go Minnesota money line. They are. Yeah, Lopez has been absolute cooking. He's doing great, and he's facing Baltimore, has like really struggling on offense right now. What's your hits looking like? Just 2025. You have figured it out, good sir. Look at Pablo. Man, okay. Let's look at the matchups. History. Pablo versus Baltimore. History. Not much. 0 for 6 for Mullins. 1 for 8. 1 for 9. That's pretty good stuff. 2. Yeah, there's nothing here. There's a home run, sure, but whatever. Against righties, you can see how Baltimore's been this year. We got 319, 328, but that means nothing to me, really. But I know some of you like to see this, history of it all for the season, but I like to see what you've done lately. That's why we do top 10 on my sheet. So, Buxton's 364 with 2 home runs and 22 at bats against lefties. Against Povich, they are a bunch of zeros as well. Huh. Pablo's doing good. How well is Cade doing? If Cade's doing not as good, we're taking Minnesota money line, and it's over. Cade, earn runs. Yeah, not as good, but it's not terrible. I mean, you got popped by Cincy, but 3, 4, that's not as good as pop. Yeah. Minnesota, what's your money line again? 155? Yeah, Minnesota money line. Next. All right, next up, we got Chicago and Kansas City. Currently, we have KC 225 at home with that 8.5 total. Look over the sheet, and we can see, again, they're pretty close on things. KC's getting a little bit of a lead overall. They got more green. They have less red. 8-2 in the last 10. They have been cooking with a 3-game win streak. I think they won yesterday 3-0. So KC has the home field. They have the recency streak bias going on because baseball is very streaky. So that's, if you see a streak in baseball, like 5-6 games, just ride the streak. You'll probably be fine. So if everything's just kind of neutral, yeah, baseball is a very streaky sport. So let's go get rid of Cade. Let's get rid of Pablo. Let's go over here to Baltimore. Not Baltimore, Chicago, I mean. Royals and White Sox. Royals with cheese. We got Lugo going against Sean Burke. Lugo strikeouts, 4.5. How is Chicago doing strikeout-wise? Let's find out. 23rd, 8.6. Number 1, KC, like we expected. Good deal. So 8.6 per game, and how many are you averaging, good sir? Good sir, show us. You're averaging, this season, you're averaging 4.86. That is not as good, but that does include these down here. If I go last 5 games, you're averaging 5.6, which is better. And last couple games, Tampa, Houston, Detroit, New York, Minnesota. You face some good offensive teams in there. So I'm intrigued. Let's look at the history first. Let's look. Lugo versus Chicago. Strikeout rates is what I care about mainly. Well, a lot of 0. 0 for 3, 0 for 7, 0 for 1, 0 for 3, 0 for 3, 1 for 4, 2 for 9. And was that 2 for 7? Yeah, so he's getting about 4 total hits in all these at-bats. 333, 42, 100%, 25, 33, 50. So you can see the strikeout rates here. I'm feeling good about strikeouts. I don't care about Chicago's bats. They have nobody good, really. There's nobody even above a 250 out here, is there? Barely. There's a 250. All right, White Sox, you guys are struggling. KC versus righties. There's your KC numbers. If you care, there's Sean Burt. There's nothing. So yeah, I'm going to take Lugo strikeouts. I'm feeling it might be a little sweaty, but he has the matchup. He has the history. He's at home. I mean, come on. I'm going to take Lugo over 4.5 Ks and then move on to the next one. All right, 6 games left, and I have 5 plays so far. We're being very selective, and it's I feel good about the plays I have, though, so I like it. Still can't believe I have 2 for 1 game on 1 player. That's crazy. Houston, Milwaukee's up next. Let's see if we can add some more. It's a pick 'em with an 8 total. We know it's in a dome, so there's no worries about weather here. Spreadsheet. And it leans Houston a little bit because Milwaukee's averages are not looking good here recently. They're struggling. They're starting to struggle. So Houston has a lean. Milwaukee has home field. Let's see what we got over here in the pitchers. We got Hayden Winston versus Chad Patrick. Nothing here we want to take. Obviously, nothing's really standing out, but we will look at their histories just to see. Yeah, there you go. Let's see. Let's go matchups. Let's go Patrick versus nothing. No Patrick history. Houston versus righties. There's your numbers. We got a 320. We got a 291. So there's that. Milwaukee versus righties. There's your numbers per. Oh, there it goes. Milwaukee versus righties. We got a 364, 346, 313 against Hayden. A lot of O's. A lot of offers. Over. 2 for 2, 1 for 1, 1 for 4. Nothing really standing out here. I'm not liking this. This is kind of too close to call right here. So let's go ahead and look at the bats, see if anything's here for the bats in case you want to play it. There's your bat plays. Yeah, I'm not playing any of this. Pass. Next. All right, next we got Pittsburgh and St. Louis. We have Pittsburgh as a slight favorite with a 7 total. We have our spreadsheet. We see Pittsburgh's bats are not good. They're only getting 2.4 runs per game in the last 10 games. That ain't good. That's terrible. That's 24 runs in 10 games. It's weak sauce. You see the numbers. You see St. Louis's numbers are average. Nothing really stands out here. The main thing we need to look at in this one, see that right there? You see that little 2, that 6.7? That is St. Louis's strikeouts per game in the last 10. That's St. Louis strikeouts at home this season. And those are the 2 main numbers you need to focus on. Why? Because a lot of you are going to fall for this. It's Paul Skeens Day. And everyone, the books have been eating on Paul Skeens strikeout props because they set at 6.5. Dude is not what he was last season, not because he's worse or anything. It's because teams have film now on him. They see him. They get to study him. Last season, they just got him as soon as he was out. They didn't have much film. They were going based on everything from LSU. They didn't have anything. So now they do. So look, he had 2 last time. He had 9 against the Dodgers. Good job. Spotlight. People are like, this right here fed. The books feasted on that one right there. The books feasted against Cleveland. I said don't take Cleveland. We don't take strikeout props against Cleveland. I told you this. We don't take strikeout props against Washington. I told you this. I'm telling you again, we don't take strikeout props against teams in the top 5. And St. Louis is top 2, number 2 at strikeouts. Now, could he hit it? Absolutely. Yeah, he has the stuff to do it. But you need to look at his last few games. Dude he's only hit over this number 50% of times in 20 games. Last 10, 50%. Last 5, 40%. So be cautious. That's all I got to say. Let's go look at the histories on him too. Skeens versus St. Louis. Burleson bats .417 against the dude. Donovan bats .300. And these are like a lot of at-bats. Nolan's .364 with a home run. See, they had success against him. So be cautious. That's all I'm saying. Don't just blindly bet it because, it's Skeens. No, be cautious. Against righties, you can see how St. Louis is doing this year. Pittsburgh against lefties. This is how they've been doing this year. Reynolds has got a couple home runs. Against Liberatore, there's your numbers as well. So enjoy. Have fun. St. Louis has the lean with the bats. Pitching-wise, I have no clue who has a lean, to be honest, based on what we just saw. I'm a little skeptical of Skeens having a good day today, just saying. But fading Skeens is never really a good idea, I know, but there's a reason why Pittsburgh's up barely a favorite. Let's look at the bats. Anything stand out with the bats? Because if anything, I want to take St. Louis plus 1.5. I think I might do that because, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. What am I talking about? I'm done. That's what we're doing. We're taking the sheet. We have St. Louis, who's statistically better with bats recently. We have Skeens, who struggles against teams that don't strike out, which is St. Louis. The bats can't help him out. He's not going to get any run support, which he never does anyway. It feels like when he's in the game, the bats just take the day off, right? It always feels that way when he pitches. So I could be dead wrong, but I'm taking St. Louis plus 1.5 here for minus 155. That's my play. Next. All right, next up is Detroit, Colorado. I'm not playing this one. The weather's 100% rain all day through the whole thing. Remember, let me show you again in case you forgot. Right here, look, 7 p.m. all the way to 1 a.m. is literally 100%. Every single one. There's no chance they play this game. I expect an announcement here in a few hours that they're going to postpone this to a doubleheader tomorrow or whatever day they do it, because tomorrow is the travel. No, tomorrow's Wednesday. I can see a doubleheader tomorrow. So let's see. I'll show you the game lines though in case you want to see it. But it is Detroit 178 with a 9.5 total. Pitchers for this one is supposed to be who? Because I know we have them up, but I'm just not going to. Why even risk or waste the time on a bet for a game that's almost certainly going to be postponed? Right? It doesn't make any sense. So let me get rid of that one. Bring up the Rockies. It was Job versus Dollander. Nothing really stood up except for Job walks. But yeah, obviously with the spreadsheet and all, one of the top bats versus one of the worst bats. Detroit's clearly the team to pick here. Detroit money lines clearly the play out to probably take here, but with the weather involved, nah. We'll probably get the bet this game tomorrow. We'll talk about it tomorrow probably. Next. All right, next up we got Toronto and the Angels, and currently it is a pick 'em basically, maybe slightly in Toronto with a 9 total. And look what we got here. Potential Nerfy. Look at that. We have green Nerfy numbers, red bat numbers, terrible bat numbers, to be honest. Everything's looking bad with the bats. We have one decent pitcher. I don't know who the other pitcher is. I got to look real quick. So let's go to the pitcher props. We have Mr. Anderson going out there, and he's doing good. Walks is kind of concerning, but he is striking people out, which is okay with. Earned runs over, only 1 out of 5, which means he's doing pretty good on earned runs. So who is his opponent? Oh, we have no clue, which is even better. I love that. We go to let me show you the schedule. Yeah, it's undecided. I mean, so that's most likely going to be a bullpen guy or a dude from the minors. Oh, it's a minor. I'm loving the Nerfy, but what if it is somebody from the minors? But then it's the Angels. They can't hit anyway, so I'm going Nerfy. Yeah, I haven't had a Nerfy in like 4 days. I'm fiending for it. I need it. So I might take me a Nerfy. No runs, first inning. Well, let's look a little deeper, shall we? Let's pop over here. Mr. Anderson, we're going to pop the hood real quick and see what's under there. Earned runs, how you been doing? 2025. Pretty good. Can't complain. You can give up a couple to like Pitt and St. Louis, but yeah, I need you to suck today. So, not suck. I mean, I need you to be stellar against a team that can't hit. There we go. That's what I meant to say. Anderson versus Toronto. Oh, wow. 0 for 10. Kirk struggles. 1 for 4. 3 for 4 with a home run and a 2.3 for Bo. 0 for 3. 500. 545 for Vladdy. 583 for Varsho. Okay, hold up now. Hold up now. Hold up. They are teeing off on this dude. Against lefties, 345. 6, dude doesn't play. 345. Angels, how do you do? We don't know. So, okay. Man, I was gonna take a Nerfy. And that bad boy would be sweaty too. But we don't know who's pitching for Toronto, and we know that Toronto tees off on this dude. Oh, but Toronto's so bad offensively right now. You really can't take Toronto. So because I can't take them either team money line because I don't want to take them and I don't want to take a pitcher we don't know. So smart things to pass. Sadly, next. All right, next up we got Mets in Arizona. Currently, it's a slightly in Arizona, but still pick them with a 9 total. Yesterday, the Mets got the win. I know some of you were really concerned because of the doubleheader aspect for the Mets and maybe tire bullpen. I could see that they were up 5-1, and that bullpen about gave it away. Bases loaded, gave up 3 runs, made it 4-5, but then got out of the jam. Hey, we'll take it. A win's a win. So, hey, it's all matters. So, let's look at the spreadsheet. Numbers are clearly still leaning New York. We can see that. Anything else? I mean, Arizona's pretty good too, but number 2s across the board. That's what you want to see. You can get 2 in hits, batting average, on base, slugging, and OPS. 4th in runs. Yeah, you're doing pretty good. Arizona has home field. Mets have the bats slightly, I would say. Let's look at the pitching, see who we have today. Today we have, open them up, Mets in Arizona. We have Zach Gallen versus David Peterson. Nothing, all these props, and not a single one in the 70% or higher range in the last 5 or 10. I don't care about last 20. So 3.5 strikeouts. I ain't taking that. You lost your damn mind. Let's look at the history for these two. Zach versus the Mets. He has kind of owned the Mets, hasn't he? Wow. 294, whatever. 231, 167, 167, 250, 111, 208. Yeah, he's got the advantage. They've had a little bit of success, but not much. Righties versus the Mets. You can see how the Mets have done. Arizona versus lefties. You can see how they have done. 405 for Perdomo. It's the main one. And then versus Peterson historically. 667, 417 for Grichuk. And then you can see the rest there. So we have some success on both sides. Nothing too exciting standing out. Let's look at the bats. This is a close matchup. Arizona. Bang. And we got a lot of yellow popping in here in the last 5 with the last 10s. I don't like that. Soto is 5 for 5, huh? Look at Soto popping off. So Soto could be a play for you if you want to play Soto. I'm just personally not feeling it. No, everything's too. There is a concern the Mets could be a little fatigued, so I'm going to pass on that. Just pass on the whole game. Move on to that last one. All right, last game on the board is going to be Seattle and the A's. And if you didn't see the end of that game last night, you missed a fun one because that was wild. Yeah. Bases loaded, back-to-back-to-back strikeouts to the A's walking it off. It was just, wow, what a... Yeah, so wild way to end the night overall. But today we have it to pick them basically slightly to the A's with a 10 total, which the wind's blowing in, right? Hold up, let's go back to the weather and take a look at that right quick. We had the wind blowing in down here. No, it was blowing straight out. It's only 6 miles an hour, but it is 82 degrees. Okay, I can see why we might have an over potential here. I don't have a single total, do I? I don't. I have 4 player props and 2 sides. Interesting. Let's look at the numbers. Seattle's still doing good. The A's doing good as well. 7-3. Look at them cook. Let the A's cook. I'm telling you, told you 2 weeks ago, grab you with some kind of future ticket on the A's. You might be able to cash out for some nice value later on in the season. So let's see. Go to the props, see what we got. We want the pitchers, thank you, not the bats right now. So let's go swap, bang, bang. Mariners Athletics. Jeffrey Springs versus Emerson Hancock. All right, so Springs over 2.5 earned runs, 80%, and walks 80%. Well, which one is Seattle good at? Well, they're good at runs. They're pretty good at that. And they're good at walks. They're good at both. So, all right, who is we going to take? Let's open up Springs and just take a look, peek around a little bit. Let's look under the hood first. Under the hood. Springs history versus Seattle. Not much data involved, really. Nothing really here. Against lefties, how does Seattle do? Not the best this season. Not the best. Not a single guy over 300. I don't count you. Don't play too much. 516. Maybe you play enough, but no, the main at bats are all well below 300, which is not where you want to be. A's versus righties. A's, nothing too, what was the 306? Nothing crazy against Hancock. Bunch of 1-for-2s, a couple home runs at least. Nothing standing out there. So let's look at Springs walks. 2025, he only had one versus Texas, one versus Seattle, but he had 4, 2, 3, 4. A's won that one and that one, huh? Wow. And then we want earned runs. He gave up nothing to Seattle the first time around and nothing. So he's basically had 2 great games surrounded by 5 miserable. He has the Jeep logo. That's what he has, the inverted Jeep logo. And I just don't know if I want to touch that. I only have 6 plays. I can't believe that. That is wild. At 1.5, he's averaging 2.43. How did you do last season? Are you always just kind of crazy with pitching? I can't even look at last 20. 1.57 before that. 2025 is this. He has control issues. Had one versus Texas. Man, Seattle was really good at getting walks, though. They're averaging 4.6 a game. I can take this. I'm okay with this. I think I'm going to go for that. Yeah, we're going for the walks prop because 6.5 runs, that's can be, yeah. But, yeah, let's go Springs. He has yeah. This was a little sweaty, but I want a 7th play. So we're going to Springs over 1.5 walks to end it right here. So 1.5 BBs, and that's going to end it right there. Let's go to the schedule. Let's pop on over. Tomorrow is Wednesday. You have all these games up here. I expect it at least be 1 or 2 more games that could be postponed. We'll see. So what was that? 3, 6, 9, 12. Yeah, 15. Obviously, everybody's playing. I appreciate you being here. Drop a like, subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you are playing. Go check out the HQ if you want the list of all the plays I do, or if you want the access to the spreadsheet, do your own research. Other than that, I appreciate you being here, and I'll see you tomorrow on Wednesday for some more MLB. Peace.